What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Variety Views. I'm your host, the Variety Vendor, here to review Baskets. It's a show that I've known for the past few months, although it made its premiere in 2016, early 2016, and I just got to hear about it recently, and as soon as I heard about it, I was like, I'm definitely gonna binge watch the entire first season, and and I'll catch up with season two. And as I was watching the first season, I never was a big fan of Zach Galifianakis. I'll be completely honest. I was a fan of his kind of in the first Hangover movie, but then in the second one I was like, he's just, he's being overly used because he was funny in the first one. He was like the show stealer basically, to the point where it was like, okay, it's gonna be all about him in the second one. And then I got to see him in different movies. There was a movie like Operation something, where it was an ensemble movie. I bought the DVD because I was like, oh, Zach Galifianakis, this is gonna be a good movie, and then it was just really boring. There was another movie that he was in, Due Date, which I thought was really funny, with Robert Downey Jr., and it had a lot of heart. And I was like, you know what? I think I've turned a corner on Zach Galifianakis, and then I got to see like a lot of the movies that he did voiceover work with. For example, this year's Lego movie, Batman Lego movie. And not this year's, last year's. I mean, 2017, and I thought he did a really good job. He was really funny, and he had a really good quirk about him. But in this show, Baskets, he shows a lot more range, to the point where I'm like, this guy is a magnificent actor, because he not only plays a really good broken, down on his luck character, but he plays another character as well, and that's the brother, the more successful brother, the one with the family. And even though that person is not, hasn't found happiness yet, like both of them are very broken down shell of what a person like what they want to be. But um but at the same time, they find happiness whenever like one of the brothers, and that's Dale. Whenever Dale ruins Chip's life, whenever he does something to piss off Chip, that's when he's really happy. And it's just because he's like, and it's so funny because the idea is that he's his older brother, because he's like older by 20 minutes. And the chemistry between the two brothers, even though that's like he's basically acting with himself, it's great. You believe it. You forget the fact that they're using special effects to kind of have two characters in the same room. Not only that, but also Martha Kelly playing Martha Brooks, which is, it's great that they're using their real names, kind of, just changing their family name. And her, being this person that has no friends, but she's doing whatever it takes to be friends with Chip. Like, I don't know if she has a crush on him or whatever, but from the first episode, she's like, she's going after him like a stray dog. And God bless her, like, the stuff that she would go through just to please Chip. And even though that everybody is just like, you probably have like one of those friends where, like, no matter how horrible you are to them, they still can take it, and they still will stand by you. And it's very saddening, but at the same time, it's very admirable to see the lengths that she would go through, just to please Chip. And she is like sort of like a a doormat where everybody just steps on her, and sometimes it's funny. I will say, I'll be completely honest. It sometimes is funny when you see something like that, because here's the thing. What makes a really good, a really good joke, or a good, scene of comedy, is when you have a little bit of tragedy to it. That's the funniest thing. That's always the funniest thing. That's why whenever you go to theaters, that the biggest part of comedy, like they will tell you, like the biggest part of comedy is tragedy. Um, so that, and also Christine Baskets, the mother, that plays the mother of Chippendale. Chippendale. I just got it. Chippendale. All right. I just got it. I've been watching this for the past month, and I just got it. Oh fuck, Chippendale. That's funny. Um, so Christine is played by but I'm laughing, way too much on this stupid joke. But that's what it is, You find a lot of humor in those little moments once you get, these types of things. So the mother is played by Louis Anderson. And this guy gets lost. Absolutely gets lost into this character. You forget. You forget that he gender swaps for this role, and you know, it's it's a great performance, and Louis is my favorite. He's absolutely my favorite in this show. Christine is like my favorite character because it's so real. Not saying like like all the other characters aren't real. It's just that this is the realest one. Christine is a loving mother who will do whatever it takes to keep her kids happy, even though that she does play favoritism sometimes, but sometimes it comes from a good place. She doesn't mean to play favoritism. It's just that, she's human. Sometimes you have a favorite thing and you don't mean to be mean. It's just that, And she has her two other adopted sons, and the other two, she doesn't she cares for them a lot, but she doesn't care what they do. Even if they do drugs or whatever, they're like, oh, those are my kids, those are my star kids. And she will do whatever, and they can do no harm basically in her eyes. And whenever they bring a freaking bottle of water, and she's like, ooh, this is really nice, I think I'm going to switch brands. It's so real, and you probably felt that way if you've got any siblings. You felt that way with your mother, where she's like, no matter what you do, she's not, she's never pleased, but she's always pleased by, your brother or sister, where they're the star child. Another character here is Penelope, who was using Chip, but Chip knew that, and they had an agreement, and she's like, hey, I'm using you, and he's like, I don't care, I love you, and because he thinks that like somewhere down the line she'll fall right back, she'll fall in love with him, somewhere down the line, but she doesn't. She's like, she feels for him. She sees the broken man, but at the same time she's like, all right, whatever, let's get married, but hey, once I get my green card, then, I'm splitting, and he's like, I don't care, you will fall in love with me later on. And he'll do whatever it takes to make her happy. Because when he sees her, this is my interpretation. He failed in clown college. He went to Paris, used his mother's money to get into clown college, and it didn't work out well for him. It did not work out well for him, but I feel like that's the job that's his dream job, is to be a professional clown in Paris where he's respected, and if he gets Penelope's love, then he at least attained something in Paris. He attained somebody's respect, because he feels like through her he would have gotten something. He would have succeeded in something in Paris, if that makes any sense. I don't know. That's just how I see it. I feel like he sees her as a traveling college with him. That if he gets her respect, then he would, he would get his foot in the door, basically. So yeah. Let's see other characters. Nicole Basket. Nicole and Sarah and Crystal. Those are Dale's family, who are Filipino, or as we are so told. I'm not sure if they are indeed Filipino. Played by Ellen D. Williams, who plays Dale's wife, and let's see. She's part Filipino, part Chinese, and part Spanish. How many people had sex on that night? And her daughter Malia Piles, who plays Sarah Baskets, and Julia Rose, who plays Crystal. I like the daughters. Dale's older daughter, eldest daughter, Sarah. I thought she was good as being this rebellious kid. She wasn't too annoying, and Crystal, I thought she was fine. She's absolutely fine. She was good. I thought that she did a good job in because it's really hard to find good kid actors nowadays, especially ones that you can actually connect with. And I did not really connect with the kids, but I kind of see the troubles through the parents' eyes. So yeah, the show is absolutely amazing. I love it. The first season is Chip. It's the backstory of Chip. They tell you a lot about Chip's past. There's a lot of flashbacks, and I always have a lot of fun watching those flashbacks and see how things come together and how the puzzle is finally completed by the end. And by the end of the first season, you pretty much know everything about Chip, and it's a slow it's like slow detective work for the viewer to finally figure out that character. And then in the second season is when things just go balls to the wall crazy. There are stuff that happens in season 2 that I'm like, holy shit, that came out of left turn. Stuff that is just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. There are moments where it just wrenches your heart. The first season was great, but the second season was just so much better. Like if I would rate it, like the first season, I would probably give it like a 4, a 4 out of 5, but the second season is just 4.5. It's that much better. I would give it. I would give it 5. I would give it 5 if there was just a little bit more, because as I'm progressing with this, I'm like, this has a lot of potential. So, that's the whole reason why I give such a low rating for this. This is probably my favorite series after Breaking Bad. Recently, not of all time. I would say it's like my favorite since Breaking Bad. There's just a lot of things I love about this show, and what's great about this is that it's 20 minutes. This show could have easily been 45 minutes, and it would have been, it would have done the same job. If anything, I think it would have been a little bit better, because there are things that would have been, a lot better to be ironed out. But what I love about this is that, creator Louis C.K., and I know it's a controversial name in Hollywood right now, but taking everything that he did aside, and whatever. I don't care about the guy's personal life. I'm not here to judge whatever he did. It's not like he killed somebody. It's just he did some stuff, and it's whatever. He's a genius. I will say this: he's an absolute genius, and I don't want to see him blackballed, because what he does, he contributes so much for Hollywood with his show like Louis, which is one of the best shows ever put on TV, and now Baskets, two punches, with awesome shows, and his stand up comedy is awesome. So Hollywood really needs Louis C.K. I think the world needs Louis C.K. Whatever he did does not matter. Okay? Things happen and people can move forward. He did not do anything that is just like, oh my god, this guy needs to be blackballed. No. Fuck PC. It does not matter. What he did, whatever. He's an adult, and people deserve second chances. Okay? So that's all I got to say about that. Louis C.K. really, deserves a second chance. He did not, commit a crime, basically. Or maybe it is a crime in some states, but he did not, ruin somebody's life. If anything, he just ruined his. He almost ruined his career, or maybe he did ruin his career. But here's the thing: he contributes so much. The good in him, I feel like it outweighs the bad by a ton. So that's all I gotta say about that. About this show, I really love it. I hope it continues, and it has been renewed for a third season. I don't know if a Louis C.K. will be. I think Louis C.K. was taking out of this. And it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough watching season 3, and I don't know if Zach and the other producers are going to be able to hold the ship together in the third season. I hope so. I hope it still retains its flavor, because at the same time, not only the story is great, but beyond that, I feel like the actors are what carries the show. Their personalities is what makes the show. So that's all I gotta say about that. And with that being said, rate, comment, favorite, how, please subscribe, share with your friends, share with everybody, and check out my next video. We'll be talking about something else.